So 3 rate cuts this year because Mr. Powell is not Mr. Angry Powell slash too late Powell slash I don't know what Powell slash fire every Fed governor, Mr. Trump, because hey, if I couldn't fire him, let me fire everybody else.
Capitulation. Wow.
Yeah,
Wow,
that's
wow,
probably.
wow.
Hey. Give the Bears some credit. They haven't capitulated yet. They doubled down on their position, shorting 171,000 positions from 139,000 before. What could possibly go wrong?
I meant capitulation from Powell.
Ah,
That's mainly what I meant.
tomato.
Yeah, but oh, bro, you heard that speech. I was listening
I
and I'm just
wasn't. I
like,
just saw the straight line up. I just saw 10 o'clock and the candle go like dot dot.
I I was watching it live. I was watching
Oh
it live. I'm
God.
when we're listening to it and I'm seeing the stock market. I'm just like, well, I know where this is going. But just like within
Short
a couple
squeeze.
minutes, it was instant. Yeah,
Yeah. The
yeah, it
funny
was
side
interesting.
story. I told one of my coworkers that I help with his 401k and stuff like retirement.
Yeah,
We set it up to be like a dividend portfolio literally on Wednesday. And then he sent it to his financial advisor. I love financial advisors when they tell you to invest in Coinbase. You know, that's just enough said. Yeah. And then Brad came to me and he's just like, what should I do? I'm like, tell him he's a dummy, politely though, and then tell him invest in this. And I gave him the breakdown and the percentages and everything and that. And then he comes to me, he's like, what happened? I'm like, you made a crap ton of money. That's what happened.
you probably. I mean, at the fact if he did it on Wednesday, most likely he
He did it
locked in
Thursday
that he
night.
locked in a really good yield. Then he locked in a
Yeah.
really good yield. But regarding this Powell thing, man, oh my goodness. I mean, I'm not necessarily too much a big fan, as we've stated here on the channel several times, that rates should not be cut. Um, it's just I'm I'm not a fan of market. Here's the thing, right? And by the way, I'm going to announce it right here, guys. I am officially in the process of buying a house. I think I put that off way too long now, and I'm kind of like, hey, if rates actually do get cut, there's no way housing is going to go down. It'll
Yeah.
only go up. So I'm like, we need to close on a house now before things get impossible, which they kind of already are.
You're basically right at that precipice where it's like just the plane is starting to go back up. And I'm
It's an
just
inflection
like,
point. It's an
yeah.
inflection point.
And I'm just like Powell flipped like capitulated, right? How you said capitulated, flip the switch on everything. And again,
Yep.
this right here states that shifting balance of risks may warrant policy adjustment. We also remember 2022, like I mentioned in yesterday's video, where essentially this is this is where the balance of risks conversation in 2020, November of 2022. I remember it like it was yesterday, that Powell came out and then it ignited the 30-40% rally for the next 2 years, essentially. That was just run, squeeze higher, new bull run. And here's the funny thing. Then next week's PCE, and I'm going to read you Powell's comment about PCE, and I want you to guess how the PCE number is going to come in based on Powell's comment. So here. The latest
Latest data.
data indicates 12-month PC inflation rose 2.6% in July, core rose 2.9. And then he goes into the effects of tariffs on consumer prices are now clearly visible. I expect effects to accumulate in the coming months.
Now they're visible because in the FOMC that we just had a few days ago, he said that we still need to wait.
Yeah, no. Now it's clear. Now it's clear
Oh, now
after.
it's clear. Now it's clear.
Now
From
it's
one
clear.
week to another, now that makes it
Yeah.
clear.
This
Okay.
it was transitory. It's the whole thing.
Ah,
Yeah, I had to sneak that one in there. But again, we actually have some expectations for PC. So let's go to it and then we can talk about the expectations. And I kind of went through this in the last video. There's pretty much nothing this whole week that's actually meaningful, besides a certain thing on Wednesday. We'll get into that. We do have GDP then Thursday, 3%. You know, very, very funny when the last one was 3%. And yeah, and again, remember they were like arguing negative 0.5 last time for the previous quarter, and now it's 3%, you know. One negative print is a recession now.
right.
Got to make up for the other one that we missed.
Right.
But anyway,
And a point one increase in CPI is prices incredibly going up, even though we
yeah,
had a 9% inflation rate 3 years ago.
yeah, yeah.
Ignore that one though.
Amnesia, amnesia,
Yeah.
and capitulation. But anyway, core coming in at point 0.3, previously point 0.3, PCE point 0.3, month over, both month flat. So
Right.
2.6, 2.8.
Um. Okay.
Wait, wait a second.
What happened?
He told us the data.
Oh.
Oops.
I didn't even realize that. I didn't even honestly. I
I'm just
didn't
like,
even
I'm
realize that he told us
realizing
the
it
data.
now, guys. Look, July PCE. Sorry, July PCE.
Yeah.
Powell, the latest 12-month PCE
Latest data
rose
indicates a 12-month
2.6 to
PCE
2.9. He
in
gave you the data.
July. Wow.
And
Yes, because that 2.6 was for June. That 2.6 was for June. And if you go back, yeah. Yeah, the one
yeah,
that
but
we're
the
getting
2
is for
point,
July. He literally told us, so it's basically flat. It's basically actually it's gone down on core. Go back to core for a sec. Go back to that
2.9.
tweet.
He says it's going to be
So it's 2.9.
2.9.
So core is gonna go up. Okay.
Uh,
So core is gonna go up to 2.9, and the other one's gonna be staying the same. So no change. What's
yeah,
happening?
meaningless.
What's in the world?
Meaningless.
What in the world is going on?
I think, well,
But it's
right before the synopsis, CERN favorite, his best friend. I love that Bloomer guy. That was his
best friend
best
from
friend threatened
Pennsylvania.
to fire his coworker.
The BLS, yeah, the BLS, yeah,
No, no,
yeah.
no, no, no,
Yeah.
no. You've been living under a rock, sir.
Apparently, I have.
He
Who's?
threatened. Trump threatened to fire Fed Governor Cook.
Well,
One
I don't
of
think
the
you could do
Fed.
that, but sure.
Yeah, which I want to get into is okay. Remember, the Supreme Court and Congress and all these other laws talk about the chair. They never really talk about the Fed governors explicitly.
Ah, come on.
Hey, hey,
Okay.
hey! The law is a
It's
precise
a
thing.
The
So
law is a spider's web. The
yes.
flies get caught, the wasps go free. I am fully aware of that. Yes.
So does the same ruling apply to Fed governors as Jerome Powell as the Fed chair? I think it just
I
stirs the
mean,
pot even more than it needed to be stirred today. But hey,
I,
entertainment.
from a legal perspective, the answer is obviously yes, because the Fed chair is basically the head governor of the Fed. But legalese, that's interesting. So Powell basically just gave us the data for July. This is going to be very, very interesting because why in the world is I love it because inflation is not going up. The effect of tariffs are clearly seen. Yet PCE is staying the same at 2.6, but core is going barely up. But they're clearly seen.
Yeah,
I'm very,
transitory.
very yeah.
Transitory.
Transitory, right?
And other
I love it because there are so many people that have been screaming at the top of their lungs. Even people in our comment section. I've been trying to explain to them that tariff inflation will eventually become zero. I don't know if you saw that conversation. Tariff inflation will eventually become zero next year, assuming that there is no increase in the percentage.
oh,
Right?
you're saying like okay, so you build on this, and then when it equals the same next year, it's zero. Yeah.
It's zero. But apparently, what I said was inflation will be zero. No, I said the inflation from tariffs will be zero. We're still going to be at 2%, but the inflation from tariffs will essentially subside next
Wait,
year because the year over year number will reflect the same increase, therefore, zero.
but the same people will also argue that prices increasing is not inflation. It is like at they can't correlate zero increase in price to no inflation to that's regular inflation and consider
Right.
like 2%, right? 2% is standard is not increasing prices. But
Right, 2% is not inflation, which it clearly is.
yeah,
And Powell has said
it's
several
stable
times that it is.
prices.
Right, it's stable prices, yes.
Yeah. So obviously, he also said the reasonable base case is that inflation effects on tariffs will be short-lived, aka adding to your argument as well. It is possible that tariff-driven upward in prices could spur a lasting inflation dynamic, but it is unlikely given downside risks to the labor market. So he's leaving himself an out, basically trying to blame Trump, but then saying that because the labor market is weakening due to tariffs, right? Because it has to be due to tariffs.
Actually, it's not even because of the tariffs. He's also talked about immigration as well.
Yeah. But
He's also talked about
essentially,
immigration as
tightening
well.
labor,
Right there, tighter immigration, right
tightening
there. Yeah.
immigration has led to an abrupt slowdown in labor. Huh. You mean not hiring Americans then means when you don't have a pool to hire from? But anyway, I'm not going down that rabbit hole. I do want to sidetrack for a second and basically point out that the world is not ending. Finch affirms the United States of America AA plus outlook stable, even with all the tariffs, even with everything. The government bond rating, its debt rating is still fantastic.
Well, it's not perfect though. It's not AAA, but sure. At least we're not being downgraded again.
What if they upgraded?
Did they upgrade it?
No, what if in the future, right? Let's say tariffs start paying down. Let's say the debt situation starts going the other direction. Mm-hmm. Because the reason they all got downgraded is because the debt spiral of debt.
Right. It's because of the $37 trillion of debt.
Yeah.
Here's the thing though. We have yet to see the deficit become a non-deficit.
Yeah.
Right. The only way that the debt will get paid is if we're no longer at the deficit and we're still at a massive deficit.
Yeah. And then Powell basically talked a lot about the job market, right? He kind of hammered the job market point. The slowdown in jobs growth has not opened up a large margin of labor market slack, which we want to avoid. I would argue is because companies are not going to hire people for the triple, quadruple, or insert whatever multiple you want here of salary when they were hiring that. So like, for example, if I was paying someone $1 an hour and I have to pay them $30 an hour, well, I have to go get that money somewhere. And at the current rates, the choice between not hire the person seems like the better option than to hire said person for a higher salary. Because again, there's no free money in the system. So they're not going to be able to borrow to create that productivity to then bolster the economy. And we're seeing that, right? We're seeing how the labor market slack is going to be the death nail of higher rates because no company wants to borrow money now. They're just simply like, we're not borrowing money.
Right. And the only way to fix that would be to basically lower the interest rates.
Yep.
Which would then it would make money to be money. It would then make the ability to borrow money cheaper.
The cost of doing business would be cheaper, which would then bolster the risk taking, right, where it'd be aggressive. And the labor market.
But that would also cause you're risking again inflation to go rampant because inflation went rampant in 2020 in 2021. It wasn't only because of interest rates getting near zero. It was also because of the government printing and giving people free money.
I would argue
multiple times.
Like 99% of that was injecting the money with no output of demand or increase in demand. You had rates for
no, not an increase of demand, increase of supply.
Yeah.
Well, if
you increase the supply without increasing the demand, you create inflation.
But what you meant to say was you gave people free money without creating more stuff to buy.
Yeah.
Which then basically caused inflation.
Yeah, you increase the demand for goods without increasing the supply of goods. Yes.
Which is why I'm afraid with housing now, with lower interest rates, with money being a lot cheaper to get, there's not enough houses being made. So that's just going to cause prices to go up now in houses.
Yes, and shelter inflation will probably be sticky for quite some time just because of that, right? There's 7 years of essentially demand and 3 months of supply. So it's this imbalance that has been here for quite an extensive period of time. And it's very interesting how Warren Buffett is buying home builders right now. He's buying D.R. Horton and Lennar, putting billions into them. And I'm like very curious what it's kind of, he sees the writing on the wall that interest rates are going to come down. You have been saying where house prices are going to go up. These builders are going to make a stupid amount of money because the base material costs are not going to increase at the same rate that these houses are going to increase, and therefore they're going to make bigger margins, they're going to make more profits. And again, Warren Buffett basically buys the necessities, right? He buys addictions, right? and people are addicted to having a house. And let's just be frank about it. And again,
Especially Gen Z and millennials, seeing that we are basically in our 30s and in our 40s when it comes to millennials, and most of us don't even have houses yet.
yep. So you're just going to have this massive influx into the housing market. But again, they further went on to talk about Trump's comments, and then there was the "I will fire Fed cook if she doesn't resign." So gotta love that. And then he went on to the whole Ukraine thing. But I'm not going to dive in so much into the whole Fed cook thing because it's gonna be legally challenged to no end, and it doesn't really help you kind of sway different Fed members to align with your vision and who you put into the
Right.
Fed chair. It doesn't move the needle in any way, shape, or form. But I do have a question for you. How
Go
far
on.
is this needle gonna plant into the right this week?
This coming week.
There's a certain company reporting on Wednesday and
Nvidia
Thursday.
and AVGO. No,
Yeah.
I'm fully aware. I am fully aware. Depending on how they go, I mean, I thought that Nvidia fell because they were delaying their H20.
No, China putting restrictions on companies buying them, and
Ah,
it's like it kind of wants to do like the AI war where it's like but here's the thing, that my argument, then we'll just sell to other clients that Nvidia has a wait list of 5 years for. I'm like,
okay.
everyone's like, Nvidia can't sell the chips to them, but there's 200 people over here that want it. So it's just like,
Yeah, see, Nvidia. Oh, okay. I see what I see now. Nvidia to halt work on China-focused H20 AI chip report. Okay,
yeah, because
I
China. So
understand now the report.
for context, right? Nvidia is reporting earnings this week, 16 to 18. Every one of those 18 is wrong. The end of story.
I saw that and I'm just like, what is
I'm
going
just
on?
like, please short more. Please short more. I will gladly.
Watch them do like 52 or like 55 billion
No,
dollars
no,
in
no, no, no.
estimated revenue.
Watch them gain $1 trillion market cap in one day.
That would be nuts.
They
That
hold
would
the
be
record for biggest loss in one day. They're capable of doing it.
what is $1 trillion market cap in one day? Like
Uh,
what percent would they have to go up? Because I mean, they already did 40. So what 100 is it? It's not 100%,
no,
right?
it's because remember that percentage is that they did 40 when they were like a $2 trillion company. So
Right. Okay.
so
Right. So it'll
it's
be less. It'll be less
so
now.
assuming, well, we can talk about like their, let's say they're 190, right? So at 190 they're going to be like a $4.5 trillion company. So they would have to like do 15%. 15 or 20% in one day, which is
That's very
nothing for
doable.
Nvidia.
That's very doable.
It
That's
is,
very
it
doable.
is literally.
If you take into account aftermarket plus intraday the following day, yeah, that's very.
Yeah, so like let's say let's just use a round. It'd be 1/5. They would have to do exactly 20% if they close near a $5 trillion evaluation, which at 200 is their $1 trillion evaluation, $5 trillion evaluation. So if they do 25, 20, anything two plus, they would shatter the record for any company gain in a single day, and it's Nvidia. Like, and Jerome Powell just did, well,
Yeah.
I'll just show the graph. Jerome Powell said, delete, control alt delete your shorts.
Yeah. I don't know if we want to pull up the CME tool, but the CME tool actually showed that before Powell speaking, um, they were like a what,
Yeah,
like
75%
79,
chance.
75,
Yesterday,
75.
last night, it was
Yeah.
75% chance and 25% chance no rate cut in September. Then we bolstered it to 84% through the day. I would argue it's 100 at this point, especially knowing what the PCE data is, and that is September 17th, literally 2-3 weeks down the road. And then more importantly is the December one. The December one is actually throwing two rate cuts is the general consensus, with 3 rate cuts being not far behind, and that's going to be beautiful for the market. 3 rate cuts.
So 3 and 3/4 to 4.
Yep.
Wow. Yeah, that would basically bring down we don't know how that will affect the 10-year yield because that's basically what it affects the mortgage rates.
Well, just looking at what the 10-year did today, right? Just it's like yields. Hello, a crash landing. Here we come. Because this just looks like
That's the 10.
yeah, that's
That's
the
the
10.
10. Wow.
So remember, we're
Wow.
not April we were down at like 3.8 when it was the run to scarcity. But if we see the localized low is right here. So if we just break through the low, your next stop is 4.1, next stop 3.8. You'd be approximately 0.5% lower than you previously were, and that could very easily happen in the coming weeks, especially with if the market blows up, right? A lot of people are going to be diversifying different things, right? So they're going to be buying bonds. They're going to be doing a lot of things because, again, a lot of older, let's say market funds, right? They're shifting from equities into bonds because of how retirement portfolios work. So again, they're going to bolster that. And then the Finch even said, it was Bank of America as well, that the dollar reserve currency is here to stay. They were Finch was basically talking about it today. Again, a rating agency coming out and being political about the dollar, basically saying they foresee the dollar's power across the world, right? So that's not
Maintaining.
people go and they talk about like the Dixie, right? Oh, the Dixie's falling. I'm like, okay, well, let's just zoom out on a monthly basis. We have been here for all of
Worse.
2015 to
Even worse.
yeah, when
We've been
2008,
worse.
right? 2008
Right.
was 77. So okay, so everyone's like, oh, it's gonna be like. I'm like, you have such a long way to go to 2007. You're going back to the mean, right? You're going back to where you exported inflation here. Now you're basically exporting deflation here, and the median is basically here. So like the dollar is not going anywhere at any and remember, we haven't even gotten to the BRICS tariffs. We haven't gotten to the Russian sanctions that are probably coming in 2 weeks because Trump basically said that he's pissed off at both parties at this point. And again, my view is sanction Russia because it's just they're stringing you along at this point because just but not diving into the whole politics of that. Bitcoin is when the news came out today. Well, it just said, "Hello, beautiful green arrows straight to the moon." It's probably gonna break all-time highs going on Nvidia earnings and breaking 125 officially on a closing basis when it does that. Again, because we touch 125, so we check the box of touch 125. Breaks 125, 150 is coming very, very quick.
Wow.
So
That's
again,
gonna be nuts.
yeah, and it's like everyone, Tumley, as much as I disagree with Tumley about a lot of things, this is the most hated V-shaped recovery in the history of the world.
People hate it. People hate it, and you know why they hate it?
Because they're not in it.
No, because the world was supposed to end on April 2nd.
Yes.
That's the reason why. And what were we saying here on the channel? What were we saying here on the channel?
We weren't saying it. We were screaming out of the top of our lungs.
Everything. Buy.
So if
buy.
you did,
Because
that's 33% from
in
the bottom.
4 months. In 4 months.
And we haven't even got to the Santa Claus rally yet.
The S&P 500 on average does 7 to 10%. You just tripled it.
You're at 10% right now. You're literally
months.
at 10% on a yearly close basis right now.
So,
and
you know
we
what?
haven't even gotten to Santa Claus rally.
So you know what? I really don't feel any pity or sympathy for people that were screaming, the markets are going to zero on Liberation Day. And look at that. We are now at literally very, very close to all-time highs again.
Yeah. It's like, oh, and no. And they'll take the NASDAQ, right? So they finally got the NASDAQ cheaper, right? It had a weekly breakdown. It's giving you the price that you could have got. Oh, you'll love the next one, by the way, because we're going to go to your favorite stock. And then, oh yeah, hold on. And then basically, everyone's going to complain about the NASDAQ being expensive, but you got near the 50-day moving average. You didn't buy. You got to the weekly break, so confirming that it's going to go up, you don't buy. And then when we hit new all-time highs, you're going to be complaining that it's expensive. I'm like, you literally got a 3% discount. Like, what more do you want? Oh, by the way,
Right.
I'm actually going to, I lied. We're going to go one more, and then we're going to go to yours. But basically, IWM, I've been basically saying that when rate cuts come back on the table, the Russell is going to absolutely moon to the freaking world.
There it is.
And then
There it
you
is.
got companies like Microsoft that it's like, oh, wait, I wanted sub 300, and now it's 500, and then it's bouncing off the 50-day moving average and holding it. But yet everyone's going to complain about 500. So when it's at 1,000, what are you going to say about 500?
That's why when Microsoft fell, go back to Liberation Day. Microsoft
Oh
fell
God,
to
this
what
is
was
just
it? Close to sub 400.
yeah,
And look at that.
345. What is that?
Look at that.
What is that? That now that's 47%. All-time highs was 61%. So again, it's like, okay, it did 61%. It gave you a discount.
Look up Costco. Look up Costco.
Cost?
COST. COST. Yep.
This is an interesting one. But
On
yeah.
Liberation Day.
Oh, yeah. Where was it? Liberation Day, right around here. Yeah, so fell
Nope,
from...
that's 2024. That's 2024, buddy.
Oh, crap. My bad. Wow. So it fell from 1,000 to 867, and now it's sitting about 1,000.
And I was saying, yo, the stock is under 900. It's time to buy. I bought sub 900.
Oh, my favorite this week is Palantir. I'm like 50-day moving average bounce, and I know the history of you and talking about Palantir and everything, but it's like, okay, 50-day moving average bounce. You missed the last earnings run, and then it gives it to you again, and you kick a gift horse in the face. It's just like,
I'm half tempted to redo another stock analysis on Palantir.
you should.
I should.
Throw
I
in the
should,
comment
because,
section,
I
guys,
mean,
if we should do it on Palantir, yes or no. Want to hear your thoughts. But again, companies even like Tesla, right? Tesla, as much as I don't like Tesla, I don't recommend it as an investment. I don't recommend it as a hold or anything. It's just too volatile for my taste. Bullish 6% day. So it's like, okay, the riskiest assets are running, but yet you say the S&P, as much as I criticize the S&P about how it diversifies stuff and how it kind of the broader market, you can kind of figure out which companies are going to run and cherry pick them out and stuff like that. Again, I can go on a rant for the next hour about that. But the S&P gave you the year's gains in what, 90 days? You got the year's gains in truly 90 days, right? So not even talking about Liberation Day. I'm saying you cross the 2024 close back again in May, the end of May, right? Really June. So you had June, July, August. In 3 months, it gave you the 10% standard run on the upper end of the S&P returns. And we haven't gone to freaking Santa Claus rally yet.
Yeah, it's going to be nuts.
It's going to be a 20%
year.
What
happens.
It's a 20-30% year. And the NASDAQ's going to, like, and everyone thinks NVIDIA is not going to do. Here's the thing. No one's talking about $5 trillion evaluation on NVIDIA. No one is talking about a $6 trillion evaluation. No one's even thinking about a $6 trillion evaluation on NVIDIA. You know why that's the greatest thing ever?
Why?
Because when it happens and they don't believe it, they won't believe their lying eyes. It'll make it so much sweeter and so much more FOMO, because at that point
it'll make people anticipate the 6 trillion, which will make them want to buy, which then becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy.
So like if 200 happens, right, 20% from that is 250, rough around 250. That's also a psychological number. Remember what happened the last time NVIDIA crossed 250?
No,
that was 250 to 1,000. That was the run.
Oh, that was the run before they did the 10-to-1.
So what happens if it does it again?
Yeah.
First 10. Yeah. Here's the thing. This will be the first 5. Most likely, here's my prediction. On earnings, this will be above 5 trillion. It will probably be the first company to 6, and most likely the first company to 7, 8, 9, and 10.
9 and 10. Yeah, I was just thinking that too. It's gonna be nuts, bro.
Yeah, and here's the thing: you got companies like Palantir that are literally like baby NVIDIAs. You have AVGO that's like a baby NVIDIA, and it's like it plays with NVIDIA really well. They really don't compete in the same sphere. But then everyone talks about Intel, even though again I love all the people that follow this channel and talk about Intel. When the government does something better than you, like. It's the famous Ronald Reagan quote is, I'm from the government, I'm here to help. The one time the scenario is correct, like how mismanaged can a company be?
And it sucks too because again, Intel had
Oh, they
so much
sat on
potential
a
back in the day.
diamond mine. They're literally
Yeah.
sitting on a diamond mine. Okay, it's like when you're an investor, it's like, how can I defend against geopolitical risk? How can I viva negativa, like how Nassim Taleb talks about? And it's like, how can I manage against political risks, intellectual property risk, money flow, revenue, cash flow? Okay, let's see. I'm the only chip maker in the United States that has an active foundry that can build everyone's chips while the geopolitical situation is turning to basically build in America semiconductors and restrictions on both sides. No, I'm
Lean
not going to use
into
it.
it. Lean into it.
Yeah,
Lean into it.
and we can make billions. We can make trillions. No, we're not going to do it.
Yeah. No.
It's like you're literally like it's like sitting on the winning lottery ticket and burning it. It's just, I can't, when the government is the one doing the right thing. Let that sink in.
It's a broken clock is right twice a day.
Yeah. But anything else you want to cover? Because I kind of went on a
Not
rant
really.
there.
Yeah, no, not really. If we could go back to the fear and greed, maybe by this week we can actually see extreme greed. We can actually
I
see your
want
high
90s.
90s.
I
We can
want my
actually see your
damn
high
90s.
90s. Yeah, you can actually see your high 90s.
Yes, I want to. This thing owes me 95. I want my
It gave you
95.
two. It gave you 2, 3, 4,
Yes,
5, and now
I
we
want
need
the
95.
really it owes me 98. I'll settle for 95.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. So it should be fun. It should be fun, and I'm hoping that Nvidia kills it because I own 10 shares. So
So throw down in the comment section below, guys, what you think Nvidia is going to do on earnings. And I have a question for all of you: is it going to be 5 trillion before earnings or after earnings? I want to see which side you're on. I'm betting before. I think it's going to get run up into earnings and then just keep going because Jerome Powell just lit the match that is going to light every bear's butt on fire. And it's going to be a great week. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel so you know exactly when the stream is going to be for the NVIDIA earnings, because we're going to be doing that, and also the VGO stream most likely on Thursday as well. So make sure you guys hit the subscribe button down below, have bell notifications on, hit the like, and also check out the latest 2 videos over here along with the Discord. Thank you all so much for watching. See you in the next one.